Hi, I am back, and as promised, I want to talk a little bit about starting to travel. So, as I promised, I would talk about how to start traveling. This time, I want to jump over a little bit and talk about traveling with children. So, these are my tips and tricks. As we speak, I am here in Monterrey, Mexico, with my two kids. I have a 15-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter, and I am traveling alone as a single parent with them. So, this is what I do, and this is how I'm able to do it. So, the first thing that I pack, I just want to jump right in, honestly, so that this is a really quick and concise video, especially if you're a parent. We don't always have a lot of free time. So, the first thing that I do is I pack a snack. Now, all of these pertain to whether you're traveling domestically or internationally. We just happen to be traveling internationally, but I do all of these same things when I'm within the city, state, or country. So, snacks mandatory. I go and just go to my local grocery store and I find what snacks my kids like. They go with me. We pick them out. They are dry goods. They are things that will last, things that don't need much extra to make them work. So that is what we do when it comes to snacks. Like we bought Cheez-Its, a few little sweet treats, things that are pre-packaged, and I just kind of dispersed them every so often while we were throughout our travel day. We happened to drive to San Diego from LA and then take a flight from Tijuana to Monterrey, and yeah, we just had a bunch of different snacks that they were able to choose from. The next thing that I do is water bottles. So, of course, if you're flying, you cannot get a water bottle filled with water through TSA, not a plastic one at least. Any water bottle you can't really get through TSA. So, what I do is I use refillable water bottles, think a hydro flask or Stanley or something like that. I just take those, I take them empty, and then once we're on the other side of TSA, I go ahead and go to a refill station. Now, if I were driving, I would have just filled these, probably thrown some ice in them, filled them with some water, and just kept it pushing. I don't really like to put things other than water inside of them because they tend to get a little gross. Like when you're trying to clean them and you don't always have all the tools to clean them when you're traveling. So I only really use water in those. Another thing is bug repellent. Now, if you've seen my short, you know my favorite bug repellent. My favorite bug repellent is going to always be the Dr. Teal's spearmint and eucalyptus. That is my go-to. That gets packed before most things get packed because it comes in a body wash. There's also a lotion and there's an oil form. That's what I use, and I promise you, I do not get bit by mosquitoes, and neither do my kids. I have been on trips where I have been bit the entire time and then started using that, and the biting does not happen after that. Also, traveling with children, you're going to want to pack extra underclothes. I'm talking everything from socks to underwear, pack extra. And if you're flying, one of my rules of thumb is always put an outfit in your carry on. If you have a personal item or you have a carry on, put at least one outfit and a pair of undies or two in your carry on because God forbid your luggage gets lost and now you guys have nothing and you're traveling with a small kid. That's a nightmare situation I have never been in and never want to be in, and don't think I ever could be in because I always pack extras of these things. And remember, if you don't have access to a washer and dryer in your unit or in your apartment or in your hotel when you go on vacation, make sure that you have extras or ability to access extras like a store nearby. So this may not pertain to you if you're somewhere without a car. That could be really difficult and kind of throw like a little bit of a curveball in your travel arrangements. So just try to remember to take some extra underwear and clothing. Um, so when you're traveling, day one, make day one a flexible day. So even if you're traveling within the US, but you're traveling to a different time zone, 100% make day one flexible because you are going to need time to adjust. If you're traveling to the other side of the country in the US, that's a 3 hour time difference. You will be jet lagged and so will your kids. Or you may have gotten up early like we did coming to Monterrey. We got up at 4:30 and left our house. So by the time we got to Monterey, it was, yes, 1 hour ahead. That's not much, but we were exhausted because we've been up since 4:30. We already knew we wouldn't be doing much day one, and then day two, we had to account for a nap because my daughter was a maniac while we were at breakfast, which it was like 10 o'clock local time, 9 o'clock back at home. And even though it was so early, she was just really dysregulated from the time difference, from travel, being excited because we were in a new place, and she did not want to sleep. She was just really excited. I don't blame her, but she was not going to drive me crazy. So we definitely needed to stop what we were doing, go ahead and insert a nap in the middle of the day or early in the day, and then we'll resume our the rest of our day after in peace. Um, so another thing is to bring entertainment. So when I say entertainment, I'm not talking necessarily a video game or phones or whatever. If you've watched my content, you know I'm not a big electronics person. But listen, special times call for special measures, and you do what you got to do to maintain your peace and to be able to vacation. Whatever it is that you need to do to entertain your children that will not bother the people around you or drive you crazy, do it. Do whatever you have to do. So with my kids, what I did with my son, he's older, he has a phone, he has a computer. He brought both of them. Before we went, I reminded him, hey, your phone's going to be in airplane mode. Go ahead and download some music, or he didn't want no ebook, but or audiobook, but that's fine. I did. I downloaded mine. He did whatever he did and downloaded his music, and that's what he had for the flight, although he slept for most of it. My daughter, on the other hand, we got some games that you could play offline, like some matching games, some little sight word games, puzzle games you could play offline. We didn't actually end up playing any of those on the plane ride, but what did we do on the plane ride? She really just, oh, she drew. Like, I have a Samsung, so she could just color. There's like the little pen app that's on the Samsung. So she used my little pen and she just colored for most of the ride. I did also pack little like flashcards for her, little markers and paper and things. So I go to Ross and I purchase those things. They're like $10 combined, maybe 12. So I purchased markers, and then I purchased like the actual artist notebook of like thicker paper, because you can even paint on it and it doesn't go through. But it's like they're like $5 to $7 each. They're very inexpensive, but they keep her entertained for a while. um I also pack, oh, with entertainment also, I get the international package for Netflix. So that's going to be your top package. That's $19.99 a month as of the time of this taping. We know that prices continue to go up, but as of this filming of this video, which is technically June 1st now of 2026, the price was $19.99. And you do have to have that package in order to access Netflix in other countries. When I was in Guatemala last month, or the month before, I had to do it, and I just kept it going for $19.99 because I knew I was doubling back to Monterrey, Mexico with the kids and wanted access. We also access our Disney Plus from the smart TVs in the Airbnb as well. So another thing that I travel with are smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, because in a lot of different countries, they don't have those things. If you're traveling in California or the US, you're good. Those things are going to be standard and come in all the places. But here in Mexico, it's not mandatory. So I travel with my own, especially carbon monoxide. I don't play about that. I also travel with little door jams. If you're curious, I can make another video and show all of these things, but I travel with door jams so that nobody can open the front door without an alarm going off. I do travel with those things just to be safe. Also, I would recommend a nightlight when you're traveling. Bring a nightlight. Sometimes your kids are so excited to go on vacation, but it's all new. And once things slow down and the lights go out and it's time for them to sleep, especially if they're in their own room or their own space, they may get a little freaked out. Have a nightlight there just in case. And also, if they have like a favorite toy, if you're able to pack that and bring it, I would, because it's just a little sense of home and it really does help. Also, a car seat. If you're going to another country, please continue to follow the car seat rules and regulations of the United States. Do not go and be like, well, it's not a rule here, so I'm not going to. Don't do that. Follow the rules, follow the regulations. Just like a lot of times I go to other countries, the seatbelts don't work. That doesn't mean I don't need a seatbelt. That doesn't mean I'm not in danger not wearing a seatbelt. I still am. So I need to be in a seatbelt. So definitely make sure that you are putting car seats or whatever you need One thing that I found for my daughter is she's 5, so she's able to use a booster seat now. So they have inflatable booster seats, which I was very freaked out by. I was like, that does not seem legit. I did some research and somehow they are safety rated and they are legit, but I've also had extensive years of car seat training because I was a social worker for many years. And with the booster seat, it's literally just giving your child a boost. It's just lifting them up so that the seatbelt fits correctly across the shoulder neck area, and so that it's not cutting into their neck. So that if you were to stop abruptly, especially when the seatbelt locks up, it's not hitting them in the neck. It's not in an uncomfortable position to where they're wanting to wear it under their arm or something, but it can actually work in the way it's intended by them having that boost being high enough and the seatbelt sitting where it's supposed to sit. So I did go with the inflatable booster seat, and it's actually serving its purpose and going really, really, really well. So my last and my final tip for traveling with kids is go somewhere you've been before or know a little bit about. Do not use the time to travel your first international trip to a place where, like, I don't know, China, without being with a group. Because if you do not speak Chinese or Mandarin, how are you going to communicate your needs? Or how are you going to find even a bathroom? Make sure that you go somewhere where you understand the language, where you understand how to get around, and where you understand the culture of the area. Now, I did take a 9-year old to China, but I was in a guided tour with someone who spoke English, as well as I had my mom there. So we were able to, I had two adults, one kid. So it was not just a completely new experience. Go somewhere where you have been and understand the language for sure. So, and I would also tell you just make sure that if it's somewhere you've already been, you felt safe there, you felt comfortable, you were in a neighborhood or an area where you feel like this is safe for me and my kids. Because there's nothing worse than you gotta run. Now you gotta figure out how to grab the kids and run too. So I hope all these tips help when it comes to traveling with kids. I'll do another video on finding cheap flights because that's the biggest thing. I did use a hack when it came to traveling this trip to Mexico. And I will talk about that in another video. It'll probably be my next one. But hopefully, you found all these tips helpful. And I will see you in the next video.